And President Uhuru Kenyatta today received a report with tough recommendations on the war on terror. Now, these recommendations aim to rectify administrative and legal hurdles that may have stood in the government's way in the fight against terror. Of course, this is a fight that everyone hopes that this government will be able to win. He received these recommendations this afternoon from a joint committee. That joint committee, of course, of the National Security Council and Joint Parliamentary Committee on National Security and Defense. Remember, the president had given this committee today as the deadline to give him these recommendations. And then you also recall that when the president addressed the nation after the second batch of Kenyans lost their lives in a massacre in Mandera, he urged the National Assembly to extend its sittings to come up with the gaps that are in administrative and legal areas of the country that are standing in the way of the government winning this war on terror. Now, while receiving this particular report this afternoon, the president singled out some different arms of government, saying different arms of government need to work together with the executive if this war on terror has to be won. In particular, he singled out the Judiciary and the Office of Director of Public Prosecution, telling them to work together with the executive to seal the gaps and ensure that this war can be won by Kenya. The president is now expected to look at the recommendations, look at the report and give his recommendations to the National Assembly. And of course, tonight we're focusing on that report, on the recommendations and the hope. Rita Tinina has more.
A Security Council meeting at State House Nairobi saw President Uhuru Kenyatta receive a report with recommendations on how to seal the weak links in dealing with terror and general insecurity. Uhuru on Tuesday asked Parliament to stay in session until it approves the recommendations and his new nominee for Interior Cabinet Secretary. Just moments before this Security Council meeting, leaders from Mandera County met President Uhuru Kenyatta 2 days after the second attack in Mandera, which left 36 people dead.
At this difficult moment, the least we could do as Kenyans is to stand together and fight this terror.
During his address to the nation on Tuesday, President Uhuru Kenyatta reached out to Muslim leaders. And here, the leaders gave an assurance of their support for the government in its war against terror.
There should not be any doubt whatsoever that the leadership of Mandera will be 100% in support of government actions as it relates to this issue of terror.
During the recent attacks in Mandera, survivors say non-Muslims were targeted.
The recent strategy they are waging is that of trying to create tension between the communities along the lines of religion.
Following the Mandera attacks, President Uhuru Kenyatta moved to replace the Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku as Inspector General of Police David Kimayo took an early retirement. The Independent Police Oversight Authority has welcomed the changes but says Kimayo's departure is not good enough. The authority wants Kimayo's two deputies, Grace Kaindi and Samuel Arachi, to also leave once a new IG is in office.
Manaibu pia wa Inspector General wamekuwa ni shida kwenye hizi shida ambazo tumekuwa nazo kwa upande wa usalama.
Church leaders continue to pile pressure on the government to deliver on one of its core mandates, ensuring the security of Kenyans.
The Evangelical Alliance calls on the government to move with speed and prevent future killings of innocent people and arrest those who have continued to kill Kenyans.
The Evangelical Alliance is set to hold national prayers over insecurity at Uhuru Park on the 10th of this month. Rita Tinina, KTN.